Happy start of the week. We usually have a bit of a sub theme that we sort of follow along as a trail throughout the week, something that we can build on and grow our wisdom and understanding, ideas that we can wrestle with and contemplate ways to expand our current level of understanding. I think this is a great practice. This is another aspect of spirituality that perhaps a lot of people don't engage in. So it's nice that we do this. There's a phrase in spirituality or religion that's been wrestled with for a long time, and it says that we're made in the image of God, and so many thousands of ways to interpret that. So everybody gets an interpretation of their own understanding. My understanding is that we're all individualizations of consciousness. God is infinite consciousness. We're little sparks of it that can grow and expand conceivably to the fullness of consciousness. We go from human consciousness to, as some people call it, cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Krishna consciousness, whatever it is. It implies this quality of consciousness that's available to us. Now, say we're at a cocktail party and we meet somebody and they ask us how we're doing in our life. That's what humans do. That's the kind of questions we ask one another. It's as if we have a pie chart of our life of its, say, 8 different fundamental areas that we could talk about. We could talk about you could talk about your relationship, you could talk about your kids, you could talk about your work, you could talk about your hobbies, you could talk about your spirit or religion, you could talk about your health and fitness, you could talk about your diet, you could talk about your altruistic pursuits. We could increase the list, but most people, it's like there's a pie and there's about 8 of them. But if you really think deeply about it, all those different aspects of our life are different extensions of our own consciousness. It's our consciousness that informs all these different areas of our life. If something in our life is not going well, one of those pie pieces is distorted, or if multiple pieces are hurting, or if the whole pie is a mess, there's something wrong with our consciousness. There's a direct correlation between the quality of our consciousness and the quality of the life that we're living. Now, of course, the human, mortal, worldly way is to go to work on the external thing, to fix the relationship or get a new job or go to the gym. That's all wonderful stuff. And yet it all happens within our own consciousness. A lot of people don't realize, since we're made in the image of God, that our consciousness is primary and the quality of our consciousness is the most important thing that we could ever work on. Now, the one thing we all have in common that's irrevocable is this consciousness, is this dollop, this spark of consciousness that's pure and immutable and can never be hurt or wounded. You might call it our soul. That's a perfectly good name for it. But then there's the current worldly condition of our consciousness. That's called our character. Our character is a condition of our consciousness. I love this idea. Our character is the current condition of our consciousness. Now, that can be everything from A to Z, can't it? Life is a character building process. People that are suffering in particular areas of their life, frequently it's because they haven't built proper character in that area. Character building takes a long time. We have to be content with patient improvement. It's something we can work on every day. What are some examples? If we're anxious, we could work on calm. If we're fearful, we could work on confidence. If we're timid, we could work on being bold. If we're ignorant, we could work on getting smarter. If we're worried, we could work on using our imagination in creative ways. I could increase the list. It's as if every character defect that we have could have a corresponding asset. Now, that's the work that we humans do on our consciousness in our life. We all have this consciousness. We're all built in the image of God, but do we reflect that? Do we express it? Do we live it? Do we demonstrate it? Do we bear witness to it? Well, how do we know? We look at our lives. What's working? What isn't working? And it's quite a process to settle in to the construction project of your own consciousness and to go to work on it every single day in patience, in tolerance, in wisdom. So this whole week, we're going to be looking at this topic of our character is the current condition of our consciousness and how our life reflects that. And some people pay no attention to that. We know those people, they're not very much fun to be around. They've twisted their consciousness into something that's distorted. Other people who are cheerful, calm, confident, fun-loving, mirthful, humorous, delighted, problem-solving, oriented, they have this character that they've built. It's been built. It's not just bestowed upon them with a wave of the hand. I think this is where a lot of spirituality goes a little haywire. It becomes dreamy and it becomes wishful thinking. We wish that in our spirituality, our consciousness could be washed clean and our character could be remade overnight. But I've never met anybody for whom that works. The people that we know in our lives that have beautiful character, the kind of people we could go to with a problem or a difficulty, are the people who've worked on their character every single day. And they've honestly looked at what needs to be worked on. So we'll take a look at this weekend. We've come a long way with our character, the current condition of our consciousness. And the beautiful thing is that there's infinity more to go, as well as the rest of this week. I hope I've stimulated some thought, and we'll see you all on the morrow.